Hey everybody, I figured I'd show you this real quick. Just some progression on the Hammond Collection Stegosaurus. I got the new eyes put in. I wasn't even gonna do the eyes originally, but somewhere along messing with the head, the eyes ended up getting loose, and frankly, they didn't look too good on him to begin with because the pupil was round, which is not indicative of most herbivores, let alone large ones. I mean, if you look at a Stegosaurus, the way it looks, it's the front of its head, and obviously it doesn't have much. What do you call that? Forward-facing vision. I'm trying to think of what the word is for it. Binocular vision. There we go. I mean, hold on. I'm doing this without a tripod. Here we go. Yeah, it wouldn't be able to have seen much in front of it. Just enough in front to where obviously you would see where it's going, but it would have a blind spot somewhere around here. And with these sort of pupils, the rectangular pupils that most large herbivores have today, you'd be able to see all on the sides of it, which frankly is where its eyesight would be most useful, especially from something attacking it from the back or the side. So I figure that probably would work a little better. I need to get some gloss on those eyes, though. They're looking a little dry. Need some Bizine for those eyes. Yeah. And then here's the mouth. I got it articulating pretty well, I'd say. I tried sculpting the teeth in there. It's a little messy looking. Hold on. Yeah, I'll probably have to do them a little better. Hollowed out the mouth. Come on, camera. You better show. There we go. Hollowed out the mouth. You can see the peg in there. That's the peg for where the head attaches. Hold on one second. I hollowed it out, and then I trimmed down the peg. Hold on a second. To where the head could be easily detachable. There we go. Oh, mouth fell out. But here you can see what I did there. Top hole is where the peg fits through. This peg. And the bottom one is the little socket that I dug out for the mouth, which is articulated like this. Pretty much, I took, a bead, like one of those pearl beads that you get from Dollar Tree or Dollar General or a dollar store of some sort, not even a dollar anymore, some bullshit. They look like this. But anyways, what was it? Let me grab that again. Yeah, I took that, and then I took a toothpick, put it through, super glue it, and then I put resin over it for extra strength, and then it comes out looking. Hold on, these two are stuck together. Ends up looking something like this, which is a pretty solid. There's a hair on it. A pretty solid custom, ball joint. And then, you just kind of dig out the socket for it to fit into. Also, yeah, the eyeballs were the same sort of beads. I used a Sharpie to color them. I tried making it to where the eyeball was mobile, could look around. But the problem is then I couldn't paint the rectangular pupil, and it would rub off, and it would cause all sorts of other issues, and I was just ready to strangle it at that point. So I was like, you know what, stationary eyes. Fucker don't even have to move its eyes. It's a herbivore. Like, when do you see them move their eyes much anyway? I'm just bullshitting there, but I figured it didn't need to be too expressive. It's a Stegosaurus. And I know I said I wasn't doing much, but I had the idea, using the same method to yes, that's Minecraft horse. to I got that fucker for 50 cents, by the way, at a thrift store, and I decided to fix him up a little bit, give him more realistic features, and articulate the mouth and give him a snout, that kind of thing. Also gotta put some gloss on the eyes there. Pretty much did it the same way, getting distracted. There we go. You can tell I haven't done a video in a long time. Good God. Proper long video anyway. Did that with like a chunk of Dodocaris, kind of a rubbery plastic, came from this fella right here that I'm working on. But anyways, yeah, enough on him. What I did here was I wanted to make the plates mobile. Now, I'm not suggesting that a Stegosaurus could do this in real life. I don't know if it could or couldn't. I'm not a paleontologist. I don't know the biomechanics of something like this, but, I figure, hey, I guess it's possible since the plates aren't really attached to the skeleton as far as I'm aware. I remember seeing in this animated documentary short that it was fighting a Ceratosaurus and it would flare its plates out to the side, and I really liked how that looked, so I figure I'd do something similar. Same thing pretty much. Second verse, same as the first. You carve out a socket in this rubbery sort of plastic. Doesn't work so well with this, but it's very well working with this. Drill a hole into the plate for the, stem of the ball joint to fit into, and then you just kind of work it in there. Stays pretty well, and the idea is I want all of these to be able to move to a fair extent. Like, this would be like a defensive position, There we go. And yeah, the crevices are going to be quite obvious on it, but it blends in fairly well, or at least enough to where it doesn't bother me much. So I guess that would be sort of like a defensive position, Something were to attack it, those would flare out to the sides and deter attackers from above, But yeah. And the best part is that these aren't glued in, so I could just pop out the plate. Which, I don't know if I could do that with, holding this camera here real quick. Hold on. There we go. See, this is what it looks like, outside of the socket. And that's dark. That's what the socket looks like. If you're wondering how I did that, just stick an X-Acto knife in there, and then I swapped over to one of my scooping tools. Let me see here. Usually this fella right here, this is an invaluable tool for making ball joint sockets. Really is. They don't come like this. Back when I was at the auto body shop, I got some of this really strong material to hold the blade in place because it had broke. This is typically what they look like. This is a smaller one. Also an invaluable tool. If you could find these things anywhere, I definitely recommend them, though. Either use them for soft plastic or plastic that you boiled before doing this, because, the blades will break. Bright side about this is more like a rubbery sort of plastic, so, pretty much I would use like a metal stick to, hold on a second, I'd use a metal stick, there we go, to, I'd just stick it in there and then wedge it open, and then put the ball joint in there, and it holds really well. Let me see if I can wiggle one out without the ball coming out, let me see. Just a little bit of this and that, trying to come on, get that fucker. Come on, let the fuck go. This looks suggestive somehow. I don't know how, but it does. Hold on. Fuck it. I'll just do it off. Trying to prove everything, You guys can get the idea, Fucking square peg fits in a round hole type deal. Here. Yes, that's what it looks like. And then, these aren't glued on there, so I could actually do all sorts of custom plates too, as long as I were to drill the hole similar, And then, yeah, you get the idea. Wiggles around. Pretty sturdy. But yeah, that's more or less what I wanted to show you, fellas, was just how this was going. As for the Spinosaurus, I know I started on him a lot longer ago, or a while ago. That's the better wording for it. Yeah, there he is. along with 2 other Spinosauruses I'm working on. Yeah. One featuring a trunk. I thought that'd be pretty neat. But, yeah, he's all in fucking pieces right here. Here's his head. Got the mobile eyeballs in there. But yeah, that's that. So, all of you take it easy and have a good one. And take care of yourselves. I'll see you sooner or later.